Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So you guys already know that I am a depotting fool. Pretty much every eyeshadow palette that I've ever purchased, aside from a few, I have depotted and I have shoved all of it into Z palettes. For years now, my depotting has been done on this crimping iron, which while it works, it definitely destroys your packaging. You're melting plastic onto the crimping iron and then you're using it on your hair. I don't know, there has to be a better way, right? And as a lot of you guys also know, I'm a huge fan of the Z Palette brand. I actually made a custom Z palette with my face on it, which you guys have seen in a video. You've seen it on my Instagram. Well, Z Palette themselves, obviously they saw it because they made it, and they liked it so much that they actually reached out to me and wanted to send me some of their products to try out. So they sent me a couple of palettes, they sent me their entire eyeshadow collection, which we will be getting into in the next video. I'm actually wearing it today, and spoiler alert, it's fucking awesome. But this video isn't about their makeup collection. This is actually about another thing that they sent out to me, which is their Z Potter, which you guys may or may not have seen floating around the internet and on QVC or Beauty IQ before. I've actually almost bought this so many times, especially once it came to QVC and was on, you know, like probably 6 easy pays. I'm a sucker for easy pay, but I don't know, like I just never did it. Well, they sent me one of those, so I actually get to try out the Z Potter. And this is not a sponsored video. Nobody is paying me to make this video. So yeah, we'll go ahead and plug this machine in. We'll depot some makeup and see how this works. I'm pretty excited. Let's get into it. So the Z Potter is actually really easy to use. You've got your power button, which turns it on. And then the temperature control goes from 1 to 5. And number 3 seems to be about the sweet spot for most things. So you're gonna press 3. So it automatically is going right to 3. If you want to drop it down a level, you can drop it down to 2. You can drop it down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know that you're really gonna need to take it up to level 5 unless you're working with a product that has like insanely tacky glue that's really hard to melt. So I'm going to drop it down to level 3, which is like a medium temperature. If it's picking up loud on camera, it's because there's a fan that is kind of constantly cooling the machine down. So I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise with this machine, but it can pick up really loud on camera. So I have a couple of these Maybelline Fit Me matte and poreless powders. I've got 3 different shades, a light, a medium, and a dark. And I just like the idea of having those in a palette like this instead of carrying around, you know, this, it's not super bulky, but it's bulky enough. I'm going to take this little spatula, this came with a spatula, and open up the package. There's a little sponge in there. Just want to pull that out. And you're going to set them right here on the heating surface. So the heating surface is in the middle. All of the area around the edges here is the cooling surface, especially for when you're melting down lipsticks. You know, you heat everything up in the middle here and then you can move it over to the side so everything can cool down. I'm gonna let these kind of sit there and heat up. You can touch the surface in the middle here. It's only heating up the pan inside of the packaging. And you wanna be careful when you're pulling the pans out of the packaging because those can be hot and you might burn yourself on those. But the actual surface here and then the packaging itself just stays at a nice cool temperature. So, and I actually have quite a few Z palettes. The Z Palette brand is my favorite palette, especially the extra large size. These are my absolute favorite because I feel like they're a really good size. They're really thin. You can hold quite a few products in there. We have my custom palette here, which is, this is my favorite. And I want to just check and see how this is doing. Not quite ready. I think I'm going to turn that up a little bit, actually. Turn it up to 5. Oh yeah, here we go. That's doing something. See, that's lifted right up out of there. Set that down on there. Yeah, so a little bit of rubbing alcohol is going to take that glue right off, and it actually takes it right off of the surface of the Z-Potter as well. And then while I'm waiting for that one to cool down, I'm going to go ahead and write on the back of these pans with a Sharpie. So this is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless number 120 Classic Ivory. And that is already magnetized, so I can go ahead and pop it right in there. I'm going to go ahead and write on the back of this one. And again, this one's magnetized, so it just pops right on. And then I'm actually gonna slide this guy over to the middle because he is a little bit darker than this guy. Pop him in there. We've got that palette ready to go. Now, if you're unsure whether a product is going to be magnetized, it also came with a magnet, and you just... So this is not magnetized, so what we're gonna wanna do with that is we are going to use this pan. We're gonna set this pan right down on the Z-Potter in that heating area. And then I have 2 of these Wet n Wild highlighters. Open this guy up and set him on the pan. Now, something I've noticed about the Wet n Wild packaging is that they don't actually want you to depot their products. The new eyeshadow pans that come with 10 colors in them, those are so hard to depot. They're next to impossible. You can do it. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. And you might have a little casualty along the way. But if they do crack a little bit when you're pulling them out of there, if you just kind of press it back down with your finger, they do really well, actually. Let's see if this glue situation is any better. Yeah, so with this one, yeah, there we go. Got it. Yeah, see how much that sticks? That glue is so sticky. Look at that. That glue is intense. They really don't want you taking their products out of the packaging. God. But still, you gotta get in there and really pry that out of there. Wet n Wild, calm your tits on the glue. Everybody depots everything these days, and we want to put everything in our own palettes, so stop making it so difficult, okay? Thanks. Appreciate it. See, look at that. Look at that. And since these Wet n Wild pans are not magnetic, you're gonna wanna put a magnetic sticker on the back of them. And when you buy a Z palette, they always come with a bunch of these anyway, because they know that not everything is gonna be magnetic. So you can just stick one of those right on there. And then you can actually write on that magnetic pan or that magnetic sticker the shade name of your product. This one is Hummingbird Type. And then White Raven. And then for these, I actually have a large double-sided Z palette that I picked up at Sephora. This particular palette houses highlighters. I've got all of my Posh Pepper Beauty highlighters on this side. On this side, I have Champagne Pop, and then I have 2 other Wet n Wild highlighters. So these are actually gonna go in there quite nicely because they are going to fit right next to those. And there we go. So they also sent out some of these empty pans, which are great for melting down lipsticks and taking these on the go. You can also create custom shades of lipstick by putting a little of this and a little of that into the same pan, mix it around, and come up with your own custom shade. Why don't we melt down Faux by MAC, which is one of my favorite lipsticks. And there's actually not much left of this one, so we can pretty much go ahead and let's hope that I don't drop it on the floor. Go ahead and plop some of that in there. If you dig down in here, there is quite a bit of lipstick still stuck down into this bullet. Like, look how much was just inside of that. Why don't we do just a touch of pale rose into faux? Because pale rose, I love it, but it's just so metallic that on its own, I just don't ever find myself using it that often. So I'm just going to take just a little sliver of pale rose. And then I kind of cheated and I've already melted down some lipstick. So I have this Viva Glam 5 that I've already done. And there's definitely room for more to go in there. So I'm going to dig this bullet out and just kind of fill him up the rest of the way. And then I automatically have empties for Back to Mac. And then as this faux and pale rose concoction is melting down, I'm just gonna kind of dip into there and try to stir it around a tiny bit without having it spill out over the edge, because I think that I might have overfilled it a tiny bit. It seems like pale rose is taking a little bit longer to melt down than faux did. So he's kind of still a little bit of a chunk in the center there. But if you kind of dab him around, you can kind of stir it around without dumping everything over the edge of that pan there. So that's gonna take faux and it's gonna give it just the tiniest little bit of a metallic shimmer. And push that over the side to let it cool down. All right, so what do we got? We got some powders depotted, we've got some highlighters done, we've got some lipsticks melted down, and the last thing I have to depot is this Too Faced Chocolate Gold Metallic Eyeshadow Palette. But if you wanna see this depotted, you're gonna have to head on over to my Instagram page, where this video will be up about the same time that this video goes live. So if you're watching this video, this little 1-minute tutorial is gonna be on my Instagram page already. You can go ahead and check that out over there. So that worked amazingly well. I'm super excited that I no longer have to plug in the crimping iron, burn myself, destroy packaging, and all of that stuff just to depot my makeup. I think what I'm most excited about is the fact that I can melt down lipsticks and mix colors together and create my own custom shades. Like, who knew? That's awesome. Maybe I'll throw in some glitter into the mix and create some like glittery lipsticks. Ooh, maybe I should make an entire video on melting down lipsticks. What do you guys think of that? And a big, huge thank you to Z Palette. You guys liked what I was doing and reached out. Thank you for sending me all this stuff to try. I'm a huge fan. I love all of it. Thank you guys so much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscription button down below. Tell all your friends about it so they know to watch. And I'll see you guys on the next one.